Dear children, so today we are going to discuss another lesson. So last class we have completed poem and its grammar part, right? Beautiful toys. What kind of toys we have? Once again you recollected, right Nana? So now today there is a different lesson. So sometimes you behave naughty, mischievous, right? But is it good? No, you know, but still you behave like that. But this naughtiness, how it leads to some kind of problems that we can see in this lesson. So what is the lesson name, Nana? Naughty Peter. Naughty Peter. I think you know the meaning of naughty. Yes, how you are behaving, naughty. Not behavior properly, that is a bad behavior, or else disobedient, that we can say naughty. What is naughty, ma? So naughty Peter, N-A-U-G-H-T-Y, naughty. Naughty means badly behaved. Badly behaved, that we can take it naughty, or else we can take disobedient also. Disobedient also we can say naughty. So naughty Peter, you are also naughty boys and naughty girls. Sometimes you behave badly now, you don't listen to your mommy. I do like this only, I want that one only. You are behaving like crankies now. So here what happened because of that? So then you should change yourself. What happened to this Peter? See this. So have you ever done any naughty act in spite of your mother's instructions? Have you done or not? Yes. 100% at least once or twice mother objected, you know, you don't do this one, this is difficult to you, or else this is dangerous to you, so it's not good, like that the mother definitely instructed you at least once, but without listening to her you did na, you faced a problem na, right? So what were the consequences that you got from the act? So what were the consequences? Consequences means result. So if we don't listen to our mother, if we do the work, what happen? Yes, definitely we suffer, right? So consequences, consequences means results. Results means not of exam results. Consequences. Consequences results. Results means the response what we get by doing the work. Okay, so whether were they good or bad. So without listening to our mummy instructions, if we do any work, good result do we get or bad result do we get? They objected us, this is not good means compulsory, that is bad work. So then can we expect good result? No. 100% we suffer little bit at least. So the good children don't follow the instructions of their parents. The good children who don't, the children who don't follow the instructions of their parents always get punishment, isn't it? If you don't listen to your parents, do you get punishment or not? 100%. If your parents don't give punishment, God definitely gives a punishment. Anyway, you suffer. That's why follow the parents' instructions. So read the story of naughty Peter, who did not follow the instructions of his mother and got into trouble. Yes, if we don't listen to our parents, 100% we get into troubles. We need to face some troubles. That's why be careful. Always listen to your parents. Why they are telling, think about it. Okay, Nana? You are good children. So that's why you must listen to your parents. Okay. So what happened the story and what happened to this Peter, what he did. Let's see the lesson. So see the lesson and all of you. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail and Peter. So Peter is a boy or rabbit? Yes, here it is rabbit. So how many children? How many rabbits? 4 little rabbits. What are these names, Namma? That is Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail and Peter. So 4 little rabbits, Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail and Peter. Total 4 little rabbits are there. What happened to them? They lived with their mother in a sand bank underneath the root of a very big fig tree. So a very big fir tree. Okay, so they lived with their mother. Where do they live? In a sand bank. In a sand bank. Where is it? Underneath the root of a very big fir tree. Underneath the root of a very big fir tree. So a very big fir tree. What is this fir tree? So fir tree means it's a evergreen tree with green cones. Evergreen tree with green cones. What is this ma? Fir. F-I-R. Fir tree means evergreen with green cones. So if you see the picture, you can understand what kind of tree it is. So green cones shape and always looks green only. Okay. Now, my dears, said old Mrs. Rabbit, one morning you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. So, mother instructed the children. What is that? So, Mrs. Old Mrs. Rabbit. So, the mother name is Mrs. Rabbit that they have given. What did she said? Now, my dear children, you may go into the fields. So, you can get into the fields or down the lane also you can go. You may get into the fields or down the lane. But don't go into, yes, Mr. McGregor's garden. Whose garden? Mr. McGregor's garden. So don't get into his garden. Why? Your father had an accident there. Your father had an accident there only. And he was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. So he was kept there as a pie. So by Mrs. McGregor, so wife of Mr. Gregor. So that's why don't go there. It's very dangerous. That she said. So now run along and don't get into mischief. I'm going out. So I'm going out for other work. So now go and run along. So enjoy yourself. But don't do any mischief. Don't do any wrong things. Okay. So behave well, proper way. That she said. So then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella to the baker's shop. So then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket. She has taken the basket and her umbrella to the baker's shop. So this old Mrs. Rabbit, by taking the basket, she went to the baker's shop to work there or something. And Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. So remaining 3 children, total 4 children, except Peter, Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail. 3 of them went down in the lane to gather the blackberries. So their surroundings, so many are there. Mom instructed, don't get into the Mr. McGregor's garden. So remaining they can enjoy. That's why they got into the lane and to get the blackberries. Okay, children. So, but Peter, who was very naughty, like you only, so ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. Pressed himself under the gate and he got it. Little bit of gap is there, no? So in that he bent, adjusted himself and he got into it. So squeezed means pressed. So what is this ma? Squeezed. S-Q-U-E-E-Z-E-D. Squeezed means it's a pressed. So he pressed into that gate and he entered into the Mr. Gregor's garden. So what happened? Let's see. First he ate some lettuces and some French beans and radishes. So rabbits, they eat vegetables na. Lettuce looking like cabbage na. So big leaves like this we get it, but somewhat looks like cabbage leaves. Okay, so see that lettuce. So first he ate some lettuce and some French beans and radishes. That this Peter started to eat it. So feeling rather sick, when Peter searched for parsley, he saw the gardener who started chasing him around. So feeling rather sick, when Peter searched for parsley means too much he had eaten. So parsley means a plant with a little, a plant with that is a white flowers. So that this Peter started it for the digestion. So what is this ma? Parsley, P-A-R-S-L-E-Y. Parsley means a plant with white flowers. A plant with white flowers. A plant with white flowers, that they eat it. So how, if we feel uneasy like this, how we eat soup after having some kind of food for digestion, like this it eats. So this white flowers, that's why Peter, this rabbit, started to search for the white flowers, but he saw the gardener. At that time Peter saw the gardener who started chasing him around. So the gardener started to chase this Peter. So in the garden. So a chase was on. Mr. McGregor was after Peter. Who is that gardener? Nothing but Mr. McGregor only. So one that is this rabbit is running and Mr. Gregor also chasing him. And Peter lost one of his shoes among cabbages and the other shoe amongst the potatoes. So total big garden. So potatoes, lettuce, French beans, radish, cabbage, everything is there. So while running, this Peter lost one of the shoes at cabbages and another one shoes among the potatoes. That it lost. So he lost. He couldn't remember how to get out of the garden. He get into the garden from the gate by pressing himself, but he lost the way to gate. So by rounding in that garden. So that's why. So how to get out of the garden? Peter could not remember. They're only going round to escape from the gardener. So who is that gardener? Yes, Mr. McGregor. So next, Peter lost his jacket and dashed into the tool shed. So at last Peter has a jacket. Yes, that is also he lost it. And he got into the tool shed. Tool shed means what the things we use in the garden, they keep on place. So that room he entered. Mr. McGregor heard him, so Peter quickly jumped out of a nearby window. So this Mr. McGregor heard the sound. Yes, he is in that shout. So when he get into that, this Peter jumped out from the window. And Peter caught his breath and tried to calm down, and Mr. McGregor went back to gardening. So when he jumped down, so he controlled himself. That breathing sound he gets now because running. But controlling him without getting any sound, this Peter sat aside. So observing that this Mr. McGregor couldn't find, then he went to the garden. So gardening. So Peter subsequently saw a mouse that was busy carrying peas to her family. So at that time Peter sat there now without getting sound. There Peter saw a rabbit. Peter saw a rat. It was very busy in taking the grains to its children, to her family. So Peter asked her the way to get to the gate, but she had such a large pea in her mouth that she couldn't speak. So feeling hopeless, Peter began to sob. So then this Peter asked the rat, so please can you help me the way to go, the gate, that is how to get out of this garden, where is the gate? That Peter asked this rat. But what happened? Rat's mouth was completely filled up with the peas, that is a pea, that is nuts or grains. So that's why it cannot speak anything. So then this Peter started to sob. Sob means cry noisily. Like these sounds we do it while crying. So that we call it sobs. Sob. Sob means cry noisily. What is this? Sobs. Cry noisily. Cry noisily. Okay. So like this. So this cry noisily. So this Peter started to cry very noisily. So Peter began to wander around the garden, trying to find his way back to the gate, when he saw a white cat sitting, looking over into a pond's water where a goldfish was swimming. The cat sat quietly watching the fish. So what happened there? The Peter began to wander. Wander means walk aimlessly, walk around, losing the way, walk around there only. Wander, W-A-N-D-E-R. Wander means wander means walk around. Walk around. Walk around. So that we call it there. There is no way. He could not find it. He lost the way. So there only he was walking around. So at that time, so to find the way to go out, he was walking around, and his way back to the gate, when he saw a white cat sitting. So there he saw a white cat sat on the tree. What is it doing? Looking over into a pond's water. There is a pond. So this cat is looking into the water. What it is watching there? Where a goldfish was swimming there. So the cat is looking for, very quietly the cat is watching fish, that is a goldfish. So to catch it, like this white cat is looking. Then what happened? Peter remembered what his cousin Benjamin Bunny had said about cats and decided to walk away. So Peter remembered what his cousin Benjamin, so his cousin Benjamin suggested, yes, these people, these cats, this kind of cats, these are like this, something he said. So that's why, yes, remembering that, we can go to the cat and we can ask the help of the cat. That the Peter decided, and he went to the cat, decided to walk away. And Peter heard a noise of a hoe and ran under some nearby bush. This Peter's uncle said the cats eat it and they are cunning like this, he said. That's why Peter didn't try to go, and he ran away. That is, he walked away from that cat. So no use. The Peter never help us, like that he thought, and he went away. So Peter heard a noise. At that time, Peter heard a noise of hoe and ran under some nearby bushes. So noise of a hoe. Hoe means so a long, that is tools they use in the garden to dug the mud. So that blade sound he heard. Hoe means a long handle. H-O-E, hoe. Hoe means a long handle. If you see that weapon, you can understand. A long handled long handled gardening tool. Gardening tool with a blade. Gardening tool with a blade, Nana. So it has a blade to cut all the grass and like this. So that sound, that tool weapon sound, he heard from that and ran under some nearby bushes. So some bushes are there under this that Peter tried to protect. So once he realized he was safe, he got onto a wheelbarrow and looked over to find Mr. McGregor working. Most importantly, right past him was the gate. So then when he felt, yes, no sound, now I am safe, when he thought, then next nearby he had a wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow means a open cart. A open cart used carrying the loads in the garden. So open cart, like nothing but like our bullock cart. So wheels borrow, but not with the cows, I mean not with the ox or bulls. They only carry it. So that kind of wheelbarrow it is. Okay, that kind of open cart. So wheelbarrow ma WHEELBARROW. Wheelbarrow means a small open cart. A small open cart, that we can take it. Okay, so in the garden to carry the loads they use this one. So that he jumped, that he got into that and he tried to find where Mr. McGregor working and where was the gate. So Peter took a path behind bushes to get out, but Mr. McGregor spotted him. So actually that gate was just behind the Mr. McGregor only. So but Peter at any cost to escape now. That's why very slowly moved behind the bushes and tried to escape. But Mr. McGregor saw him, spotted him. He continued to go under the gate and he finally got out of the garden. So even he saw him also, he continued very fast, he went, and then at last he escaped from the gate, so from the garden. And Peter didn't stop running until he reached his house, because that Mr. McGregor again come out now. That's why continuously running, that he ran till he reaches his house. Like that he ran. When he did reach his house, he walked in and just lay on the floor exhausted. So when he reached house, he got into the house by walking. Up to that he ran. So while he was getting into the house, he walked, and there only he fell down. He lay on the floor with exhausted. Exhausted means tired too much, very tired. Okay, very tired, exhausted. EXHAUSTED. Exhausted means very tired. Tired too much. So because continuously running like this, so he became too much tired. So his mother noticed that he had misplaced his clothes and shoes. So his mother noticed that he had misplaced his clothes and shoes. Yes, jacket he lost it and shoes he lost. So he misplaced it. So his mother put him on bed and made some chamomile tea, and she gave a dose of it to Peter. So chamomile. So later mother observed it, and then she made him to sleep on the bed, and later she prepared some chamomile. Chamomile tea means that is a dried flowers tea. That is, chamomile means chamanti flowers we call it. So chamomile. So chamomile tea, that is a dried flowers tea, Nana. Chamomile, CHAMOMILE. Chamomile tea means dried flowers tea. Tea with the dried flowers. Dried flowers tea, that is nothing but like medicine. Okay, so that she prepared and she gave a dose to him. Okay, so that night the three good little bunnies, Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail, received a nice meal of bread, milk and blackberries for supper. So this Peter didn't listen to her mom, then listen to his mom, and then he got into the Mr. McGregor's garden. Then he suffered a lot, right? He faced a problem. But remaining children, they went to the lane and they got the blueberries. Mummy went to the baker to work. So from that she brought bread, and the children remaining, this Peter became tired, so he slept. So but remaining children, they enjoyed. So that's why again they got bread, milk and blackberries. So with that they enjoyed the supper. But Peter did it? No, because he was completely tired. Why did he become tired? He didn't listen to his mom. That's why he faced a problem, right? He missed all these things, right, children? So that means what you should understand here. Always we must listen to our parents. They instruct us if we face any kind of problems, right? So that's why we should listen to them and we should follow according to their guidance. Okay, children? So this is the story Naughty Peter. Okay, ma? So read the lesson 2 to 3 times and then grammar topics you can understand very easily.